Scintillating, soothing, and sensual best describe the familiar and legendary voice of five-time Grammy Award-winning music legend Dionne Warwick, who has become a cornerstone of American pop music and culture. However, entering the ninth decade, Dionne Warwick's life is not peaceful at all. She is going through the most difficult period of her life at the age of 80 when facing issues such as bankruptcy and tax legal issues. Things are not easy, are they? Today, we shed light the real-life journey of this musical genius, where the road is far from easy. At the age of 80, Dionne Warwick is facing many difficulties after the serious financial crisis in 2013. On March 21, 2013, Dionne Warwick filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in the state of New Jersey. This marked a significant and unfortunate turn in her financial situation. The bankruptcy filing was a result of the reported mismanagement of her business affairs, which had left her in dire financial straits. In the bankruptcy documents, Warwick revealed a list of substantial liabilities that had accumulated over the years. Among the most notable debts, she owed nearly $7 million to the Internal Revenue Service for unpaid taxes spanning from 1991 to 1999. In addition to her federal tax debt, Warwick also faced a substantial financial burden in the form of more than $3 million in unpaid business taxes to the state of California. Despite her financial challenges, Warwick and her attorney attempted to negotiate with tax officials to find a mutually agreeable resolution to her outstanding tax debts. However, it became apparent that an amicable arrangement couldn't be reached. Faced with the overwhelming financial burdens and the inability to reach a settlement with tax authorities, Warwick and her attorney ultimately decided that declaring Chapter 7 bankruptcy was the most viable course of action. Chapter 7. Bankruptcy is a legal process that involves the liquidation of a debtor's assets to pay off creditors. In Warwick's case, this decision was likely made as a last resort to address the mounting tax debts and financial issues that had accumulated over several years. One of the causes of Dionne's financial collapse was lawsuits from her ex-husband and then taxes. In 1966, Warwick married actor and drummer William Elliott, but their marriage faced early challenges, and they divorced in May 1967. However, they later reconciled and decided to remarry, holding their second wedding in Milan, Italy, in August 1967. On January 18, 1969, while living in East Orange, New Jersey, Warwick gave birth to her first son, David Elliott. In 1973, her second son, Damon Elliott, was born. On May 30, 1975, Warwick and William Elliott separated once more, and their marriage eventually came to an end when Warwick was granted a divorce in December 1975 in Los Angeles. During the divorce proceedings, Elliott requested financial support, but the court denied his request for $2,000 a month in support, pending a community property trial. He also requested $5,000, claiming he earned only $500 a month compared to Warwick, who was making $100 together a month. Warwick emphasized her role as the primary breadwinner in their relationship, stating, "I was the breadwinner. The male ego is a fragile thing. It's hard when the woman is the breadwinner. All my life, the only man who ever took care of me financially was my father. I have always taken care of myself." In 2002, Warwick encountered legal trouble when she was arrested at Miami International Airport for possession of marijuana. Authorities found 11 suspected marijuana cigarettes concealed in a lipstick container inside her carry-on luggage. She was charged with possessing marijuana totaling less than 5 grams. In October 2007, Warwick's name appeared on the top 250 delinquent taxpayers list, with a reported tax delinquency of $2,765 or $305.83 in personal income tax. A tax lien had been filed in July 24, 1997. Eventually, the Internal Revenue Service discovered that a significant portion of the tax lien was due to an accounting error and subsequently revoked $1.2 million of the tax lien in 2009. For an unspecified period, Warwick lived in Brazil, a country she had first visited in the early 1960s. She was captivated by the country and studied Portuguese. She divided her time between Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo. In 2005, she returned to the United States to be closer to her ailing mother and sister, marking the end of her time living in Brazil. In an interview in April 2010, Warwick expressed her desire to spend the rest of her life in Brazil after retiring. Dionne Warwick's sons have pursued their own careers in the entertainment industry. Her older son, David, co-wrote the duet "Love Will Find a Way," performed by Warwick and Whitney Houston, and featured on her album Friends Can Be Lovers. David also occasionally toured with his mother, performed duets with her, and played drums in her touring band. He had his acting debut in the film Ali as the singer Sam Cooke and ventured into songwriting, with credits including Luther Vandross' Here and Now. Damon Elliott, Warwick's second son, became a music producer. He worked with artists like Mia, Pink, Christina Aguilera, and Keisha Cole. Damon arranged and produced his mother's 2006 Concord release, My Friends and Me. Warwick received a Grammy Award nomination in the traditional pop category for her 2013 album release, Now. On January 24, 2015, Warwick faced a health scare when she was hospitalized after a fall in the shower at her home. She underwent ankle surgery and was later discharged from the hospital. Although Dionne is facing many problems in life in her later years, we cannot deny her outstanding talent in the early years of her career. Marie Dionne Warwick, known as Dionne Warwick after a later change in her last name, was born in East Orange, New Jersey. She came into the world to parents Lee Drinkard and Mansell Warwick. Her family background was quite diverse, with her mother, Lee Drinkard, managing a gospel group known as the Drinkard Singers, while her father, Mansell Warwick, held various roles, including working as a Pullman porter, chef, record promoter, and certified public accountant, CPA. Dionne was named after her maternal aunt, and this name held special significance in her life. She had two siblings, a sister named Delia, often called DD, and a brother named Mansell Jr. Tragically, Mansell Jr. lost his life in a fatal accident in 1968 when he was just 21 years old. Dionne's heritage was a mix of African American, Native American, and Dutch ancestry, reflecting the cultural diversity of her family's roots. Dionne Warwick's upbringing and early life were centered around East Orange, New Jersey. She spent some of her formative years as a Girl Scout, indicating an active and engaged childhood. Her journey into the world of music began at a young age, as she started singing gospel music as a child at the New Hope Baptist Church in Newark, New Jersey. Upon completing her high school education at East Orange High School in 1959, Warwick was determined to pursue her musical passion. She enrolled at the Hart College of Music, located in West Hartford, Connecticut, to further her education in music. This decision demonstrated her commitment to honing her talent and skills. Dionne's breakthrough came when she, along with her group, started lending their voices as backing vocalists for recording sessions in New York City. It was during one of these recording sessions that she had a pivotal encounter with the renowned composer Burt Bacharach. Bacharach was so impressed by Warwick's vocal ability that he hired her to record demos for songs he had written in collaboration with lyricist Hal David. This collaboration marked a turning point in her career as it showcased her exceptional vocal talent. Eventually, Warwick's remarkable singing and the exposure from these demo recordings led her to secure her own record deal. This pivotal moment in her career laid the foundation for her future success as a prominent and influential figure in the music industry. Her association with Burt Bacharach and Hal David would go on to yield a string of chart-topping hits and establish her as a beloved artist in the world of popular music. Dionne Warwick's path to musical stardom took a significant turn when she was performing background vocals for the Drifters' 1962 recording of Mexican Divorce. During this session, her remarkable voice and star quality caught the attention of the song's composer, Burt Bacharach. Bacharach, a celebrated brill-building songwriter known for collaborating with various lyricists, including Hal David, was highly impressed by Warwick's vocal prowess. In a July 1967 Time magazine article, Bacharach was quoted as saying, "She has a tremendous strong side and a delicacy when singing softly, like miniature ships in bottles." He recognized the depth of emotion Warwick could convey through her singing. During this session, Bacharach approached Warwick with an intriguing proposition. He asked if she would be interested in recording demonstration versions of his compositions. These demo recordings would be used to pitch the songs to record labels. Warwick agreed, and for each demo recording session, she was paid a modest sum of $12.50, which is equivalent to approximately $120 in 2022. Warwick was subsequently signed to Bacharach's and David's production company, a move that provided Bacharach with creative freedom to produce Warwick's music without the constraints of recording company executives and A&R professionals. Warwick's extensive musical abilities and education also allowed Bacharach to compose more complex and challenging songs. As a result of this collaboration, the demo version of It's Love That Really Counts and her original demo of Make It Easy on Yourself found their way onto Warwick's debut album, Presenting Dionne Warwick, which was released in early 1963. In November 1962, Scepter Records released Dionne Warwick's first solo single, Don't Make Me Over. Interestingly, the title for this song was provided by Warwick herself during a moment of frustration. She had discovered that the song she had originally hoped would be her first single, Make It Easy on Yourself, had been given to another artist, Jerry Butler. Out of exasperation, she snapped the phrase, "Don't Make Me Over," at producers Burt Bacharach and Hal David. This serendipitous phrase inspired Bacharach and David to create their first top 40 pop hit, reaching number 21 and a top 5 U.S. R&B hit. It's worth noting that on the label of the single for Don't Make Me Over, Dionne's last name was misspelled as Warwick. As a result of this mistake, she adopted this new spelling, Warwick, both professionally and personally. Following the success of Don't Make Me Over, Warwick embarked on a tour of France in 1962 after answering the call of her manager. During this tour, she received critical acclaim and was affectionately dubbed Paris's Black Pearl. Marlene Dietrich introduced her on stage at the Paris Olympia that year, further solidifying her reputation as a rising star. The singles that followed Don't Make Me Over, including This Empty Place, with its B-side Wishin' and Hopin', and Make the Music Play, achieved modest success in the top 100 charts. However, it was her fourth single, Anyone Who Had a Heart, released in November 1963, that marked a significant breakthrough. The song became her first top 10 pop hit, reaching number 8 in the U.S. and becoming an international million seller. This success was followed by the release of Walk On By in April 1964, which became another major international hit and million seller. These hits solidified her career, and for the remainder of the 1960s, Dionne Warwick remained a prominent figure on the U.S. and Canadian music charts. Much of her output during this period, from 1962 to 1971, was written and produced by the Bacharach-David team. Notably, Warwick managed to navigate the British invasion of the music industry better than many other American artists. Her biggest hits in the UK included Walk On By and Do You Know the Way to San Jose? However, it was somewhat frustrating for her to learn that her songs were often given to British artists like Cilla Black, Sandy Shaw, and Dusty Springfield for recording. Warwick met Cilla Black during a tour in Britain and recalled a conversation where she expressed her intention to release You're My World as her next single in the United States. Dionne Warwick's success was well recognized during the 1960s. She was named the best-selling female vocalist by Cashbox magazine in 1964, with 6 chart hits in that year. She continued to receive this title from Cashbox in 1969, 1970, and 1971. Other accolades included being named the top female vocalist by Playboy's influential music poll of 1970 and being honored as Woman of the Year by Harvard's Hasty Pudding Society in 1969. In a May 1965 Time magazine cover article titled "The Sound of the 60s," Warwick's singing style was described as pleasurable but complex, appreciated by scholarly circles and chic audiences alike. Her unique sound was juxtaposed with the rising popularity of rock and roll music during that era. Additionally, it's interesting to note that Warwick's song "Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang" was initially intended to be the theme song for the James Bond film Thunderball in 1965. However, the film producers decided to include the film's title in the theme song, leading to the creation of Thunderball, performed by Tom Jones. Despite this change, the melody of "Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang" remained a significant component of the film score. The song was later included in the 30th anniversary CD release of Bond Songs. The mid-1960s through the early 1970s marked a highly successful period for Dionne Warwick, during which she achieved a series of gold-selling albums and multiple top 20 and top 10 hit singles. The story behind Alfie is intriguing. Burt Bacharach had intended Warwick to sing the tune for the Michael Caine film of the same name, but the British producers insisted on having a British artist record it. Cilla Black was ultimately selected, and her version peaked at number 95 upon its release in the U.S. Additionally, a cover version by Cher, used in American prints of the film, reached number 33. Cilla Black's version became a top 10 hit in the UK and Australia. In September 1969, CBS Television aired Warwick's first television special, titled The Dionne Warwick Chevy Special. Guests on the show included Burt Bacharach, George Kirby, Glenn Campbell, and Creedence Clearwater Revival. In 1970, Warwick formed her own label, Sunday Records, where she served as president. Sunday Records was distributed by Scepter. In 1971, Warwick's name was changed to Warwick at the advice of astrologer friend Linda Goodman, who believed it would bring greater success. However, a few years later, she reverted to the previous spelling, Warwick, following a series of disappointments and an absence from the Billboard Top 40. In the early 1970s, Dionne Warwick's career hit a roadblock when she no longer had the guidance and songwriting support of Burt Bacharach and Hal David, who had been instrumental in her previous successes. Despite this setback, Warwick maintained her status as a popular concert performer around the world. However, her recording career suffered a slump during this period, with few significant hits in the early and mid-1970s. One notable exception was the 1974 duet, Then Came You, recorded with the Spinners and produced by Tom Bell. Interestingly, Warwick was initially not too thrilled with the song, as she made a strange face when they finished recording it. Tom Bell, the producer, had more confidence in the track and even made a bet with Warwick. They ripped a dollar bill in two, signed each half, and exchanged them. Bell told her, "If it doesn't go number one, I'll send you my half." To his delight, the song became a massive hit, reaching the number one spot on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, and Dionne Warwick sent Bell her half of the dollar bill back, along with an apology. Despite this one notable success, Warwick's 5-year stint with Warner Bros. Records didn't yield many major hits. Her contract with Warner Bros. Records came to an end in 1977, and she left the label. Warwick's dry spell on the American music charts finally came to an end when she signed with Arista Records in 1979. This move marked the beginning of her second highly successful era, with a string of hit records and albums that extended well into the late 1980s, revitalizing her career and solidifying her status as an iconic artist in the music industry. In 1979, Dionne Warwick made a triumphant return to the music scene with her move to Arista Records. Her first release under the label was the RIAA-certified million-seller I'll Never Love This Way Again, produced by none other than Barry Manilow. In January 1980, Warwick hosted a 2-hour TV special called Solid Gold 79, which was later adapted into the weekly 1-hour show Solid Gold. She hosted the show throughout 1980 and 1981, as well as again in 1985-86. The show's major highlights were the duets Warwick performed with her co-hosts, often featuring her own hits and those of her co-hosts. Arranged by Solid Gold's musical director, Michael Miller. In 1982, Warwick collaborated with Johnny Mathis on Friends in Love, a song that briefly appeared in the top 40. Later that same year, she enjoyed a significant hit with her full-length collaboration with Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees for the album Heartbreaker. The title track became one of Warwick's biggest international hits, reaching the top 10 of Billboard's Hot 100 and #1 on the adult contemporary chart. The album Heartbreaker sold over 3 million copies internationally and earned Warwick an RIAA Gold Record Award in the U.S., as well as platinum certification in Britain. In 1985, Warwick contributed her voice to the charity song We Are the World, alongside musical luminaries like Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, and Ray Charles. The song spent 4 consecutive weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and was certified 4 times platinum in the United States alone. That same year, Warwick and Bacharach, who had not worked together since the 1970s, collaborated on That's What Friends Are For. The song was recorded as a benefit single for the American Foundation for AIDS Research, AMFAR, and featured Gladys Knight, Elton John, and Stevie Wonder alongside Warwick. The single was a massive success, spending 4 weeks at the top of the Billboard Hot 100 and raising over $3 million for AIDS research. It won Grammy Awards for Best Pop Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocal and Song of the Year for its writers Bacharach and Bayer Sager. It was also ranked by Billboard magazine as the most popular song of 1986. Warwick also released her most successful album of the 1980s, titled Friends, which reached #12 on Billboard's album chart. In 1987, Dionne Warwick received the Special Recognition Award at the American Music Awards for That's What Friends Are For. In the same year, Warwick scored another hit with Love Power, a duet with Jeffrey Osborne. It reached #1 on the adult contemporary chart, #5 in R&B, and #12 on Billboard's Hot 100. Over the decades, Dionne Warwick has remained an active and prominent figure in the world of entertainment in recent years, with various notable appearances and achievements. In 2020, Warwick made a captivating appearance as Mouse on Season 3 of the popular television show The Masked Singer. Although she was eliminated in the 5th round of the competition, Warwick returned during the first part of the Season 3 finale. She performed What the World Needs Now Is Love with the finalists Night Angel, Frog, and Turtle. This touching performance served as a tribute to healthcare workers on the front lines during the COVID-19 pandemic. Importantly, it was created after the season had wrapped production in March. Warwick made a guest appearance during the Versus battle between Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle. The two legendary artists performed Warwick's classic song, That's What Friends Are For, and closed the performance with their collaborative hit, Superwoman. In her autobiography, In My Life as I See It, Warwick listed several honorary doctorate degrees she received from various institutions. These included Hart College, Bethune-Cookman University, Shaw University, Columbia College of Chicago, Lincoln College, Illinois, where she was awarded a Doctor of Arts, Hon, in May 2010, and the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. On February 10, 2021, Dionne Warwick received a significant honor when she was nominated for inclusion in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the first time. This nomination recognized her enduring influence and contribution to the music industry. On December 3, 2021, Warwick was honored with a star on the Palm Springs Walk of Stars, commemorating her impressive career and impact on the entertainment world. Warwick was the subject of a documentary film, Dionne Warwick, Don't Make Me Over, which focuses on her life and career. The documentary premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival in September 2021, and the event organizers announced that she would be honored as a music icon. This documentary provided a deeper look into her remarkable journey in the music industry. Finally, on January 1st, 2023, Warwick's documentary, Dionne Warwick, Don't Make Me Over, had its national television premiere on CNN, allowing a wider audience to learn more about her extraordinary career and life. What do you think about Dionne Warwick's life, full of ups and downs, and the difficulties she faced at the age of 80? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.